and Chinese, for example, China. And this is densiflora for too much flowers, for example. Look, this is so important. This is esculenta. That means edible. You can eat these plants, for example. Some of them, folia giganta, so big. Look, you can see all of this. Grandis, big. Humidis, short, for example. Lanata, woolly, like wool. All these is latifolia, longifolia. That means leaves long. Leotia, yellow. These things. I am searching if there are something deals with Kazakhstan or the name of. And for example, Lana, small. Nocturnal. Yes. Paucifolia. And these things. Look, I will, from China, for example, sinensis for tea. Viscosa for sticky, spinosa for spines. Yes. Look, whenever you see vulgaris name, it's mean common in too many places. Herba, that means small plants. This is toprak, this is the plant. This part is herba, okay? Yaprak or leaves is folia. Whenever you see folia, that's mean yaprak. Çiçek or gül, flows. Meyve or fruit is fructus. Bark, kabuk, cortex. Kök, root is radix. Rhizome, it's rhizoma. If it's swan or like onion, it's called bulbous. This is so important things, these ones. You can find them everywhere. Now, for the classification of the medicinal plant, there are a lot of systems that used to classify the plants. For one of them, alphabetically, by the name. You can do alphabetic classification of the plants. The second is morphological. For example, on the used parts, sometimes we are using stem. Sometimes we are using what? We are using roots. Sometimes we are using leaves. Sometimes we are using flowers. On the morphological classification, seeds, bulbs, this is bulb, and sometimes fruits. Look, this is some medicinal plants from Africa, for example. Look, you can see aerial parts, roots. This is sold by markets, roots, aerial parts, seeds of the plants, tubers like potatoes, aerial parts, seeds, roots, whole plant or whole parts. This is topra, this is aerial parts. If they say whole plant, that means all these things with roots. Just please be careful. Aerial part here, above toprak. This is aerial part. And toprak üstü. We say it also in toprak üstü in Turkish. And if it's whole plant with the roots. Yes. So this is bark. Look, this is bark. For example, this is tarçın, cinnamon. Yes. And this is toprak üstü. And this is whole plant. Morphological. Upon morphological, as I said, we can say herba, we can say folia, yaprak, flores, çiçek, or gül, fructus, fruit, and semen, that means tohum, or seeds. radix, kök, or roots, rhizomes, tuber. That means the how I can say, look like ball, like potatoes, and so on, like sarımsak, or what you say to garlic? Sarımsak, yes. Sarımsak, yes. Garlic. Burnu, that day, for example, rosa, it's belonging to Rosaceae, order Rosales, and so on, from Plantia. We start from here and going downward. Look, this is the voice that used for the, yes. Sometimes we use chemical classification about using the active constituent. As a chemist, I am asking you, what's the main groups of the chemicals that found in plants? The main groups. Yes. You are not knowing in biology and not knowing in chemistry also. What? The main groups, the main group. Başlıca gruplar for the active compounds found in plants. I will tell you, look, this is the main group. Terpenes, phenolics, nitrogen-containing compounds, and sulfur-containing compounds. Okay? This is the main for classification of the chemicals that exist on plants. For example, I do classification. I say the plants that contain alkaloids, the plants that contain coumarins, for example, and so on. Don't forget terpenes, phenolics, nitrogen-containing and sulfur-containing plants or secondary metabolites. Okay? Now you will not forget, please, this thing. Terpenes, phenolics, nitrogen-containing and sulfur-containing. Pharmacological classification on the activity. I mean this plant, which kind of activity that have. For example, it can be anti-cancer, anti-diabetic, antimicrobial, anti-wound, so on. Some of them make classification pharmaceutical. That means collect both chemical and pharmacological classification. And beside that, there are some classification that depend on the climate and utilization and the reproduction. Sometimes the reproduction can be used, and one of the aspects for classification of medicinal plants. Now let's talk a little bit about the condition of obtaining medicinal plants. How many times we have? I think we have not too much. This and we'll finish, okay? A plant, medicinal plant, good plant. I will talk a little bit about that. For example, when we collect çiçek or gül, components, I must use some rules to get these plants, because these materials, coumarins, sabonins, can be high in some periods. For example, they say to me, collect this plant at winter, this plant at summer, this plant at autumn, for example, because every plant has a specific time with high material, high active material. Therefore, you must know which time you must select or collect these plants. Look, there are two theories explain the diversity of chemicals found in plants. Why plants produce secondary metabolites? Why plants? Look, there are two theories. One, chemicals for survival, to defend themselves. Like they have weapons to hurt others, to kill others that come near them. For example, and the second, it's accidental, by randomly. Look, let's look to this. Protection against to eating by others, by herbivores, like chemicals. And decan, to hurt the others, to not come near the plants. The other things, allelopathy. Some plants produce toxic to kill other plants. For example, this plant is here, okay? They have not too much water and not too much sun, okay? They produce some materials, some compounds to kill other plants to get more sun and more water, okay? This is called allelopathy. This is accidental. As we say, the active components can be so high in specific time at the plant life cycle. Therefore, there are some specific zaman or time or wakit for collecting these plants. Okay. And to get these plant materials in the best way, you should have some times to drying these plants. Yes. Look, generally the plants is used after collection for 1 year, not more than 1 year. 1 year. Bir 1 year, okay? The plants is used for 1 year generally after collecting, not more than 1 year. After collection, or the collections generally by hand, and sometimes they are using some machines to collect plants, but generally we are using our hands to collect plants. Therefore, to get more active substances in these plants, the collection type and time, it's so important to get more bioactive materials. I am asking you here a question. The collected plant organs should not be washed with water. Why? I collect this plant, I should not wash water. Why? Not washing. Nige.
Don't wash?
Yes, don't wash. Just roots. The roots, I can wash them. Roots. Kökleri yıkayabilirim. Kökleri yıkanabilir. I can wash. But these parts, no washing. Toprak üstü yıkanmaz. Nige.
Onun üstüne minerallar, mikroplar, чтобы анализ
Mikroplar, tamam. You are right, yes. Sometimes after you washing, it can be some microbes can grow on this, and sometimes when you washing, there will be some change on the chemical inside the plant. Because the water is good, good atmosphere to doing the reactions, chemical reactions. Therefore, many chemical reactions will happen. Yes. And of course, when collecting plant, topladığımız zaman, you must be careful to not collect poison plant instead of the right plant. You must be careful. Which plant? This plant is toxic or not? For example, when I was a child, I go to the field. I am living at village, small village. I see some plants and I eat them. I stay at the hospital for 3 months. You must be careful. Not all the plants is safe. Sometimes it can kill you. Yes. Look, when you collect plant, there are some rules. Don't collect near jol. You must go so far from, because a lot of cars come from here and toxic materials from car. Duman and these things. It's not near the jol, okay? You must be careful that these plants, they not use some agricultural methods or some toxins to treat these plants. You must not use these plants. It must be natural and no chemicals used, okay? When you collect the plants, I come here and there are just 2 plants, okay? Just these plants. And collect all of them, and it's no plants here. It will be finished. This is wrong. When you collect, if there are so few plants, don't touch them because it can be finished. If there are too much plants, you can collect some of them. Don't collect all the plants, please. It's your country wealth. Yes. Also, don't forget about the zamanlar or wakit for collecting the plant. And some plants is collected yapraklar or leaves like eucalyptus. Some of them çiçekler, like metricale camomilla. Some of them toprak altı kısımlar. Like valeriana. Evet. Kabuklar. Like, yes, some of them like meyve, tohum, and so on. Look, hiçbir zaman, at any time, don't collect in rainy day. Because also there are water, chemical reactions, okay? Not especially at winter at Özkemen. Don't collect any plant because there are no plants. Drying. How you dry? Nasıl kurutacaksınız? Kurutma. Okay. How you collect, dry the plant? Open the oven and put it inside oven and to 250 and
on sun.
There are a lot of things that I will summarize them. Generally, don't put in oven, of course. Don't put under direct sun. Don't put. If it's kök, roots, okay. But leaves and these things don't put inside room, and it's well ventilated room, okay, inside room and dry place. Put it there, and every day every day, okay. Günde, her gün yapacaksın. Okay. Okay, we talk about this. We talk about drying. Look, meyvelerde, in the fruits, there are water about 85 to 95. Kökte 70. Gövdede, stem, they have 40 to 60 water. Yes, su miktarı. Yes, there are these things. Therefore, some of the plants, some roots can be dry at sun. But you know, because you know the sun do two problems. Active components can be changed because the heat of the sun, and the rank, the colors can be changed because the sun. Look like this every day. And some of the plants like this, collect them and dry them. Kurutma. Some of the big fabrics, they have tunnels with hot air. Some of them, but not too much hot. What about the storage? How you can storage? We will finish in 5 minutes, okay? Saklama. How you can? Yes, you collect plant from the field, you dry, kurutun. Nasıl saklayacaksın? How you keep them, the plants? Yes, I said saklama. Saklama. Okay. Yes, paket. Ama nege paket? Nasıl bir paket? Plastic, vacuum. Yes, it can be vacuum. Yes, but if you everyday using, you cannot everyday doing vacuum. It's so easy. It will be better, you know, a glass bottle, glass container, and you put the plant in envelope, paper envelope, and close, and put inside the glass and in dark. The best. This can be used, the plant, for 2 or 3 years if you keep like this way. Okay? Look, all these things is important. Moisture, rutubat veya nem, heat, sıcaklık, light, ışık, oxygen, trace metals or microorganisms. It can be so bad things for the plants. Don't keep in plastic. Don't keep. Yes. It can be lead to condensation of water sometimes. Yes. Therefore, it's not good. I mean, some interaction between them and this these plant materials. Look, we see these things, herb drugs like thyme, leaf drugs like rosemary, root drugs like leukery or gypsophilia, fruit drugs like fennel, like cumin, like coriander, seed drugs, black cumin, poppy, flower drugs like lavender. All these drugs can be used, but you know, should be 10% the humidity, not more. Look, I think last slide. Most important information must be written on the package. I have this package, for example. It's contain plants inside. What I should write here? Yes. Look, Latin name of the plant and common name. For example, Mentha specata, Latin name, and Kazakhcha nane, for example. Production permit. I have permit from Kazakhstan government or not? You write this license number. Okay. Production method. How I prepare this. And production place. Oskemen, for example. Date. Also, yes, everything is must. Quantity. 100 gram, for example. Content, what I have inside this package. Usage information, decoction, so on. Storage condition, dry or yes. All these things must be written. For example, like this, everything must be written here. Fact sheet about the content of this drug container. For example, if you have some aromatic drugs, it should be impermeable package. Cannot the smell go out if it's aromatic. And if it's have high level of fixed oil, like seeds, it must be used so fast, not take too much time, because it will be deteriorated. Some of them, it's vacuumed, as you said,